Well, very warm welcome to another episode of Off the Leash, brought to you by the Racing Post in association with Premier Greyhound Racing. We're up to episode 56. We are back. There's more Cat 1 action to come, and once again we're in good company. Tony Bullen, open race correspondent at the Racing Post, joins us. Tony, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad, Dave. I still couldn't catch the Easter bunny, but we found a few eggs, so that's all that matters.
Well, listen, we found a few eggs, we found a few winners on the last show. Both naps went in. You put up a 25-1 place in the Grand Prix. We'll get on to that. So you're in good form, my man.
Yeah, no, it's ebbs and flows, this game, but when you get your run, you've got to make it count.
Absolutely. Let us know how you're getting on. Are you on a run at the moment? Are you struggling? Hopefully you're following the winners here on Off the Leash. Do get in touch with us. Like, comment and subscribe. Let us know how you've been getting on, who you fancy in this week's big final, which is, of course, the £10,000 Coral Brighton Belle Decider. £10,000 up for grabs is the Bitches on show at Hove on Saturday night, and that is our feature race that we'll be previewing a little bit later on. Before we look forward, we will, of course, look back. And we are going to start with the £12,500 Arena Racing Company Grand Prix final. Always a belter of a competition, always a big staying event, always attracts a decent field and a good winner. Once again, New Destiny landing it this one, Tony. A fourth Category 1 success. She did the business out of Trap 2, 38.79. Another big title to her name, another track record to her name. Make It Mead, it was, of course, your 25-1 anti-post pick, was in second. New in Cloud, another one for Mark Wallace in the MWD partnership there. The first and the third here. She just oozes class, this bitch.
Yeah, she's unique. I mean, ever since she first arrived on the scene, she looked like a bitch with a future over six bends. But it's all right looking like you got a future over six bends. It's realising that potential. But she's done that and some, Dave. And one thing that she's good at, she can lead from the front or come from just off the pace. And you've got to take into account, Sunderland isn't the most straightforward tracks to run. But when she sees daylight, she's just superior to the opposition. And the only race is normally against the clock. And she puts up some very fast times when she wins as well.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say you wouldn't mind owning one like that. Every competition she goes in, she's a force. And let's not forget, at the start of her career, she lined up in a few competitions and sent off favourite and was probably, I think, a little bit disappointed in those competitions. Look at her now.
Yeah, I think over the four bends, she tracked well, just lacked a little yard of early pace and middle, but stayed on okay. So her future was always going to be over a distance of ground. I mean, don't get me wrong, she's dropped back in distance and contested the Empress Stakes, so she is versatile, but I think six bends and upwards is going to be where she sort of stays nowadays.
Oh, for sure. One of the sport's brightest stars there, New Destiny. Another big title, another track record as well. So well done to all involved. Right, let's move to Prix then. Another Arena Racing Company sponsored competition. Another big final, £12,500. Laurels Decider, the final Cat 1 at Prix. And this was an absolute thrill of a race. It was a good lineup. Iams of Sydney came through to score in track 4. Dog who's been running ever so well. Druid Sago, the Oaks champion, cut out the running. But the very strong running Iams of Sydney came through to score. Churchfield Sid back in third. The right was on the wall from halfway. A very, very strong sort. Classy sort as well. And another big title to his name too.
Yeah, he showed that he runs Prix. He contested the Birmingham Cup final with the Iams of Sydney. I mean, she's done what she needed to do. Druid Sago winning the early battle. She's got some nice second to third pace, and I thought momentarily that might just keep her one step ahead of the opposition, but you've got to take your hat off to this Iams of Sydney dog. He won the gold collar at Crayford last year. He's got it all, and when he was on the case, you just felt, as you touched on, the writing was on the wall because he powered home in the final. He'd set a track record prior to that in the semis, and he didn't have things all his own way, which he is a dog that can come from off the pace, which he showed here. But great final, great time. Everything was brilliant about the run, Dave.
And a great tip as well, 33-1 Pope. Price-wise, followers hopefully followed in the Racing Post. There, good bunch of lads involved. The Iams Boys Syndicate have been involved in the sport a long, long time. Formerly with Mark Wallace, of course. Now got this dog with John Mullins, Nigel Smith, all the lads involved. Love the game. Always on the lookout for the next superstar. hopefully they had a few quid on. I'm sure they would have enjoyed that one as well. And I think the Greyhound Derby beckons next for Iams of Sydney. But a brilliant winner. Well done to all involved there. Now, there was another final, the Bresbet Gimcrack final on Sunday at Sheffield. Now, I'm not going to show that because it was a bit of trouble at the turn, but we will discuss it, Tony. It was brilliant prize money put up by Bresbet, £17,500 plus the bonus, which, of course, Wiki Ned landed last year. He won the Gimcrack and then he came back later in the year and won the Bresbet Steel City Cup. Jimmy Fennick again here, elusive no more, doing the business. Now, it got a little bit messy, but this dog, you know, he's classy, he's got all-round speed, and he was a game winner.
Yeah, I mean, look, going into the pre-event, Patrick Janssens was holding all the trump cards, and going into the final, it looked like it was Team Janssens that was going to land the spoils, but twos broke really well, but one just caught his back end as they was going around the first two turns, and all credit to Prix. He slotted on the inside and got the run of the race out the second bend. And one thing we know about Sheffield, Dave, you can defend the lead, and that's exactly what the winner done. And he took his chance well, but it was a little bit disappointing. I thought when two trapped like he did, he should have probably made the bend unscathed. But one just took his back end. Prix showed a bit of intelligence for a youngster to slot inside and got the job done. Maybe Bresbet might breathe a little bit easier with the payout for the bonus this time around, but you never know. He's only lightly raced and he's shown a nice bit of form now.
Yes, lightly raced indeed. They all were. You know, talking of the dog on the inside, we will move on, but Romeo Ability, this dog down the middle with a start, I'm telling you now, is a real handful. So look out for this dog. I don't think the inside box quite suited him, but he half flew to the bend. He maybe caused a little bit of that problem with his pace into the bend, rushing up. But out of a middle draw, I think he's going to be a very, very nice dog. So look out for him, Romeo Ability. So well done to all involved there. Elusive No More winning the £17,500 Bresbet Gimcrack. Right, let's look forward then. Now we've looked back, and there is £10,000 up for grabs in the Coral Brighton Belle Final at Hove. Brilliant card on Saturday night as well, of course, live on the Premier Greyhound Racing Service, Behind the Red Button, on Sky Sports Racing, and of course on the PGR website. You can find that in the description notes of this video. Right, Coral Brighton Belle, semi-final number one, Highview Jazzman, track one, 30.61. Resonate in the stripes here. This was a Hutton one, so I'm dreaming of another big price winner here for Price-Wise, because I put up Resonate. I think this bitch looks like a nice stayer in time, and I thought she could just keep qualifying. She actually showed up quite well early on here, Resonate, but it was a kennel mate, Highview Jasmine in the one, and a Kevin Hutton 1-2. Yeah,
she's getting familiar with the track, Resonate. I mean, she's caught the eye in defeat. She's sort of met a lot of trouble in her previous races, and she's shown a lot more urgency here, but this Highview Jasmine, she's certainly got something about her. She's been running well over 6 bends and dropping back to the 4 bends. She had a bit of a dwell up in the first round, that's for sure. She sort of got there, focused her attentions on the rival, but she's getting the job done. So she's got to be a big player, even though she's drawn middle. So like the track and trip is tailor-made for both of Kevin Hutton's bitches, really.
All right, steady. We've not got to the final yet. We'll tackle the other 2 semis before we start talking about draws. But Kevin Hutton, a man that knows how to win the Brighton Belle as well. He's won it twice in the last 6 years. So he's got 2 through first semi-final there. Semi-final number 2, and the likely favourite here, set the standard, Queen Shakira, a real star, British bred superstar for Liz and Rabbit there, 30.37 out of track 1. And the runner-up here, Dark Madam, I thought ran a stormer, snapping at the heels sort of from halfway. Another one for Seamus Cale, who's always got a presence in the big finals down at Hove. 1/2, the inside boxes.
Yeah, Queen Shakira obviously contested the Ken Plate at Central Park. Wasn't a factor in the final, but when you look at the class that was in that race, there wasn't any disgrace. But back in Bitch's company, she's really excelled. Liz Brad McNair and the KSS Syndicate's bitch. She's a jealous type when she gets on the front, and she just keeps digging, even when put under a bit of pressure. And I do agree with you. I think Dark Madam ran a blinder in defeat. And again, not a lot of mileage on the clock for Seamus Carhill, Dark Madam. But I just think Queen Shakira, she's very difficult to overhaul when she gets on the bunny.
Yeah, nice long run to the turn, the 5.15 at Hove, which certainly suits Queen Shakira. Right, let's move on to semi-final number 3. Then Harlequin Beauty coming from off the speed to score here, picking up Runaway Dior. Another one for Seamus Cale. Paul Donovan with the runner-up here, 1/6, 30.65.
Yeah, I mean, Runaway Dior looked like it had run away with a race by cutting loose early, but you always felt that Harlequin Beauty was going to close the gap because got a bit of staying form as Harlequin Beauty, and now got a 50% strike rate, having pegged back Runaway Dior here. But all credit to Paul Donovan's bitch, no nonsense from the boxes, similar injection of pace that saw her home in the first round. But the 515 at Hove, there's no hiding place, and you've got to stay the distance. And Harlequin Beauty saw out the distance a lot better than Runaway Dior, just got there in the shadows of the post. And all to play for, really, I suppose, in the final, because Runaway Dior is going to be a handful, even though it's a wide seed, Dave.
Yeah, well, let's have a look at that draw then. It will be the 8:24, race 9 on the card on Saturday night, I hope. There's £10,000 up for grabs. Dark Madam in the red, 8-1. Queen Shakira, 8-11 favourite. Harlequin Beauty, 10s. Highview Jasmine, 9-2. And then two wides, Resonate in the 5 at 12-1. And as Tony mentioned, the well drawn Runaway Dior here for Paul Donovan at 7-1. Now, you wouldn't bet against 6 being in front at the second turn here, would you? How do you see this race going?
Yeah, I think by the sprint boxes, I think Queen Shakira will draw level, and that's where I think Queen Shakira will start to edge ahead. Runaway Dior will have to show same injection of early pace. There's no reason to think that she won't out wide, but I can't see anything holding up Queen Shakira on the inside. And I think 2 bosses the inside, 6 bosses the wide, 2 gets in front by the sprint boxes, goes about her business and just keeps digging. Obviously, Highview Jasmine, she's got the ability to quicken up at any stage of a race, but I think Queen Shakira will be very difficult to overhaul if she gets to the front by halfway, Dave.
Okay, right, she's going to be odds on, no doubt. You've got previous for this, so let's delve into the Bullen crystal ball and give us the 1, 2, 3 then. If we're going to go with the favourite, who's going to be second and third? Because there's quite a bit of stamina in here.
Yeah, well, I think that 4 will stay on for a place, and I'd include 1. I think this can be a 2-4-1 because I'd fear for 6 making the frame. If two gets to 6 by the second bend, you're going to fear 6 is nearer last than first material. I think Resonate's still finding her feet at Hove. She's yet to really post any flashy times. So I would be with Highview Jasmine, because I think Highview Jasmine will turn in front of Harlequin Beauty, and Dark Madam stuck on really well. So I can see this being a 2-4-1.
Okay, lovely stuff. Well, I'll be hoping Resonate can at least back 4th then for the each way money. I'm going to go with Queen Shakira. I think she's just got the legs of 1 to the corner, but a really nice bitch, Dark Madam. And as you mentioned, very easy to forget. She's only had 7 races, 2 wins, 2 seconds. And of course, she's in good hands in Shamus Kale on home soil. You wouldn't be shocked if the one popped out lead and made all, because she is very, very classy. She's shown up in good company previously. Big prices. She might be too big a price, around about 8-1 on the early. So that is the Coral Brighton Belle, the feature race on Saturday night, £10,000 to the winner. Good supporting card as well, Tony. Got a couple of the races in front of me. The Hove Puppy Cup final, £5,000 up for grabs there. Always attracts a good field of youngsters. I've also got the Coral Sprint Trophy final. The Nares have got 2 runners in there. Queen Sinead and King Presley both going to be big runners there. But the Puppy Cup final, Headford Asher, unbeaten after 2 starts. Of course, a little brother to Headford Dame, who won the PGR Puppy Derby at Monmore. Connections have made noise for a long, long time that this dog might just be even better than Headford Dame. And you can see why, because he's won by over 12 lengths aggregate total across his first 2 races. He's probably drawn a little bit wider than ideal in the stripes in that final, but he's going to be favourite, isn't he? Because he's been faultless.
Yeah, he has been faultless in both races and posted decent times as well. And what I like, he found 20 odd spots for his debut success. Yeah, he's drawn wider than he's ever been before, but I just think that he looks the real deal, and yeah, I think he gets the job done. I mean, I thought 2 Gingers, Tarly, went about her work well on debut. Nice bit of early pace. Be interested to see how good he is 6 if he's put a bit under pressure, because the beauty with these pups, Dave, he ain't seen a rival yet, so he don't really know what it's like to be in a race. So I always like, if he was my own, I want to see a dog alongside, because you want to see what your pup's all about.
Yeah, you want to see that hunger to get to the front, the will to win. So we shall see. That's the 7:49. Looking forward to that one. £5,000 up for grabs. Well done to all involved there to get into the final. It's always a good competition and good luck. Head for Nasher for the JR Racing Syndicate Maxine Lock. Another nice prospect for those guys. Right, it is that time then, Tony, for best bets of the week. We've been away for a couple of weeks. We left the viewers with 2 winners, as hopefully we can follow up with another double. Where are we off to?
Yeah, I'm going to be at Hove. They've got a full open race car set for the first race, which is a Kennel Stakes final. And I like the look of this Ballydarley Jack for Derek Knight. He's in the maiden stayers. Now, he's had a handful of races over the standard distance, but the penny's dropped. He's got back-to-back wins under his name. He's gone to the drop okay. He hasn't torn into the drop, but he gives the impression that the step up in distance will suit, and Derek Knight would know what dog to step up in distance at the right time. And I just think now he's got back-to-back win under his belt, this could be an ideal springboard to see if he will go on to better things. So Ballydarley Jack in the 6:59 at Hove on Saturday.
Yeah, that's an interesting race, that one. Is that the race that Lily's Bullet is in as well, who's been staying on well?
Yeah, Lily's Bullet. You've got Youngie's got Bubbly Carbo in there. That won't be a massive price. So, yeah, but I just think this Ballydarley Jack can straight his stuff over 6 pence.
Yeah, I wonder whether we might see Lily's Bullet over 8 bends in time. She seems to stay very, very well. But Ballydarley Jack for the in-form Tony Bullen, then 6:59. That is his nap. I'm going to stick to Hove as well. I'm going to go with Teddy in the 7:33, which I think is the consolation for the Brighton Belt. This is a bitch that certainly wouldn't have been out of place in the final. All sorts of pace to the corner, down the far side. Seems to come home quite strong as well. Looks the real deal. So a real nice type. And I think it's the best bet on the card. And the best bet of the week as well. 7:33 at Hove on the inside. They're not the tightest of railers, but I think pace and class will tell in that contest. So Ballydarley Jack for Tony and Teddy for me this week are the best bets. Tony, it's been a pleasure as ever. Nice to see you. Been away for a couple of weeks. We'll be back next week as well to look back on the Brighton Belle. And we're not too far away from the Premier Greyhound Racing Golden Jacket as well. So maybe we'll have a little bit of a chat about that one, which is coming up. Do remember, of course, you can catch all the action live on the Premier Greyhound Racing service, behind the red button on Sky Sports Racing, and, of course, on the PGR website. Until next time, enjoy your Greyhound racing and do remember to gamble responsibly. We'll see you next week.